Thanks, Senator Klobuchar. Mr. Lawrence, I'm going to stick with you for a minute because you made it clear that you do not set the ticket price. And Mr. Berchtold said he doesn't have anything to do with the ticket price. Who does set the ticket price?
That's an excellent question. That was actually the thing I was most surprised to hear in Mr. Berchtold's speech, because we definitely have absolutely no say. And if we actually ask the venues in advance, which we often do, they say that's a Ticketmaster thing. So the fees, I mean, we actually do set, the ticket prices, the base price. The artist does have a say in setting for sure. But those added Ticketmaster service fees, we have absolutely no say. And the venues claim that it's a Ticketmaster
Mr.
thing.
Berchtold, you want to add anything to that?
Thank you. Yes, as Mr. Lawrence said, the band sets the ticket price. The service fee level is set by the venue.
And you control the venue.
In
Do you not?
of approximately
Live Nation?
of approximately 4,000 venues in the United States per Pollstar, Live Nation operates approximately 200. So roughly 5% of the venues in the country.
Are they the biggest?
No, sir. They're generally not the biggest. The biggest tend to be the sports venues, the arenas, the stadiums controlled by the sports teams or the owners of the sports teams.
Mr. Grotzinger, you had an experience at Barclays, did you not, in terms of an opportunity for your company to take over a venue that had been controlled by Ticketmaster? How did that work?
The New York Times reported a few weeks ago how once we took over ticketing for the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, the Barclays Center saw a marked decrease in the number of concerts from Live Nation that were sent to that venue versus historical averages. So earlier last year, the Barclays Center management came to us and said, we'd like to keep using you for ticketing our basketball, but we want to be able to use Ticketmaster to ticket concerts. And we looked into it and couldn't get the economics to work. So we said to them, listen, let's just, part ways amicably, and we did.
So they used their power of the marketplace to diminish the number of acts at that venue, and the venue decided they had to go back to Ticketmaster.
There was certainly, as Pollstar public data shows, a marked increase in the number of shows Live Nation played at that venue after the venue decided to move away from Ticketmaster.
Mr. Berchtold, is that true?
I believe, Senator, that what the New York Times indicated was that another venue opened in the marketplace. So you now had two venues vying for the shows that weren't going to Madison Square Garden, and that the number of shows going to Barclays from all the major promoters went down as a result of that increased competition. I have not heard of any allegations that we changed in any way our booking of concerts for that venue. It's a matter that I watch very closely given the profile of the New York market. I understand every decision about every show, where it was placed and why. We have records determining that in no cases was there any retaliation against Barclays in the placement of shows.
Mr. Grotzinger, last word on Barclays?
Yep, I don't have more to add specifically on retaliation there. I would note that the DOJ report in 2019 found numerous instances of Live Nation threatening and retaliating against venues once they had moved away from Ticketmaster. In one case, the Live Nation president told the venue that they would, quote unquote, go nuclear if they left. So the threat is real. It's been documented. It happens across many venues.
Mr. Michelson, Mr. Berchtold defended his market position in one element, saying it was a battle of the bots. Have you run into that phenomena?
Ticketing companies, one of the things they're supposed to do is have solutions to bots. And for the leading ticket company not to be able to handle bots is, for me, pretty an unbelievable statement. But you can't blame bots for what happened to Taylor Swift. There's more to that story that you're not hearing.
Ms. Bradish, you probably heard Mr. Berchtold's suggestions or read in his testimony 3 things he thinks need to be done, which included all-in pricing on the tickets, fighting deceptive URLs as an example, and creating a civil action under the Bots Act. Any reaction from you to those suggestions?
Well, none of those suggestions go to the core of what we've been talking about today, which is the antitrust problem. The fact that Live Nation Ticketmaster, because of its market power, has the incentive to do things to exclude competition in all of its markets up and down the supply chain for live entertainment. So I appreciate those suggestions. Many of them may be good ideas, but it does not change the fact that Live Nation Ticketmaster is a monopoly and will act because that's its incentive to exclude competition.
Thank you, Madam Chair.